All right, let's do our mindful nerd moment for Shang-Chi.
Nice.
Yes. So unfortunately, Dr. Jackson, he is not with us. He wasn't able to stay longer than an hour, and we were our normal, predictable chatterboxes. So he had to leave. But I
We're
definitely,
supposed to be chatterboxes.
we're
It's a
supposed,
podcast.
exactly. What else are we supposed to do but chitter and chatter? So definitely recommend people check out Jack in our episode from this week. But anyway, so Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. Actually, as we were talking, I changed my mind about what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Um, so I want to do what we talked about. We were talking about it wasn't really a fight scene. I think it was like practice for the upcoming fight when he's in Talo. So he's
Yeah.
in like the magical land or whatever, and he meets his aunt, and they're essentially like doing martial arts practice before the
Yeah.
big fight's coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we talked about that whole scene where he's like all closed fisted and
Rigid.
rigid and aggressive, and that moment where she opens his hand up, and you described it so well. What did you say? It was something like you talked about like the flow of energy or
Yeah,
something.
it was because his the way that he fought, it was just like bare bones. It was really like all about brute force. Whereas
Yes.
her martial art, it just seemed to really just like flow naturally. And
Mhm.
it was
Mhm.
about shifting energy and kind of almost like countering everything uh
Yes.
being thrown at him. And so yeah, I really liked it. And then the way she brought him into it and like just kind of showed him, and all he had to do to be successful at it was just go with the flow. I really
Yes.
liked that scene. It was cool.
And so as we talked about it, I was like, "Amelia, what is wrong with you? Why didn't you think of this from the start?" And so I said, "You know what? I am in control of the mindful nerd moment and I will do that."
It's my thing.
It's my thing, so I'm going to change it to this scene. Yes. What better? It's such a wonderful representation of kind of what we're going for with mindfulness, right?
Yeah.
So you can be trying so hard that you actually work against yourself and you're putting all of this energy into kind of forcing something, when instead, how do you relax and open yourself up and allow yourself to flow with the energy and what is happening in the moment?
Right.
So let's do it.
All right.
uh okay, so like we always do, sit straight but comfortably. Close your eyes if you're able to. If not, you can just soften your gaze, not looking at anything in particular in the room. And I want you to pay attention to your breath. Notice the air moving in and out, and use it as a way of focusing on this mindful nerd moment. So I want you to imagine that you are Shang-Chi. You are in the magical land of Talo, and you're with your aunt. You're in this magical forested area in this circle, and you're practicing your martial arts with her for battle. And want to kind of remind you of kind of this internal conflict that is going on. You're about to fight your father. Your father thinks he's saving your mother, but actually he's destroying the village. There's a lot that you're just struggling with internally in general, and you are ready for battle. Your tension is high, and so you go to spar with your aunt, and you have your fists held ready, you have your tension. And she walks over to you and she opens your fists so that your hands are outstretched, flat but relaxed. She stands beside you and she tries to loosen your body. It feels foreign and yet right. And then she starts to flow next to you. She starts making movements, much like the same movements that you have been doing your whole life, but without the tension. Instead of working up all of that energy for a fist or a flexed muscle, you're loose, you're flowing, and you're allowing her movement, her energy to help you move more naturally. It's almost as if you're not doing anything at all. And you take this in and you just allow for this experience of being in the moment, allowing the movement to take you where it needs to go, releasing the tension when it tries to build up on you, and just really fully taking in this moment. And when you're ready, your aunt stops. She looks at you, she smiles, and you just allow yourself a moment to appreciate what just happened. And when you're ready, we're going to shift away from Shang-Chi back to being our admittedly less magical selves. But, it's okay. We make do. So when you're ready, leave Ta low, come back into your own skin, kind of shift around in your chair a little bit. Get used to that feeling of where you're at, listening to the podcast. And when you're ready, open your eyes. And Keaton, I'm curious, how is martial arts and Ta Lo for you?
I liked it a
Yeah?
lot. I did.
Yeah?
I liked it a whole lot. Because it's one of those things where like I feel like martial arts naturally
Mm,
has
mhm, mhm,
this peacefulness and calmness to it, even though it's like cool, badass, and you're doing all this
mhm,
kicks and all that. It really is like the whole philosophy of it. A lot of the
yes.
times, no matter what the martial art is being studied, the philosophy of it seems to always be about the person doing it being at peace. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, I really like this one.
I think that's a really great point. And actually, uh, a big part of these like mindfulness components of therapy, it didn't come out of nowhere. People saw these ways that people have been using for centuries, for so long to embrace kind of the flow of life, taking the energy as it comes and goes, not fighting against it. And yeah, this is kind of one of those ways that therapies try to work in some of those things. So it's cool to come back around to using the mindful nerd moment with martial arts.
Loved it.